Hi, welcome back. Me. It's been a very long time since now it's November 1st. Um, but we're gonna jump right back into our life. Beginning and always, is that what it's called? I have no recollection of where I was. I know that it's a romantic situation simulator. Um, so we're just gonna see if I remember as I go. Alright, let's go. Jump in. So, if I freeze, I'm gonna be pissed off, firstly. Because I remember that happened so much with this game. So if I stop the video, that's what I'm doing. Um, we'll just go shopping. Okay, so I remember Cope. He was like the little boy, right? So are they still little? Um, okay. Come back before it gets dark. All right, sport. What? I've never heard anybody call their kids sport in real life. All right, do I just hit space? Oh yeah, dope. Okay. Cove waited in front of his dad, pushing his green hair back off his face from where the breeze was blowing it over his glasses. He looked to be paying only a mild amount of attention as he was being handed a few slips of green paper. Did it match his hair? It reminded you of when you first met Mr. Holden, although he's probably not paying Cove to be friends with himself. Oh, I didn't notice he has like a little stingray tattoo. Okay, Cove's dad seemed to feel your gaze somehow. Or maybe you made a noise, because a second later his eyes were on you. He waved you over with a smile. He looked happy to see you, but you still felt a little weird for getting caught. You've got to learn how to be more sneaky. He brushed your hands together to free them of sand, then jogged over to join the two, smiling at Cove first, then his dad. Evie, hi.
How's it going?
How's it going, dude? Okay, good to see you again. What excitement are you up to today, Evie? Taking a walk. I've had a pretty cool snail across the road. There's lots of snails around here. There's lots of snails around here, partner. Mr. Holden grinned at you kindly, and he winked. After you finished answering the question, Mr. Holden's attention returned to Cove, who was preoccupied with folding the bills he had into a tiny rectangle. Sounds fun. You know, Cove was about to hit the stores by the beach. Why don't you go with him? You gave a ready nod, turning to squint in the direction of the stores like you could see the goods they had to offer all the way from where you stood. Oh, is that okay?
Yeah.
I don't mind. Great. Well, I'm sure you guys will have loads of fun. Mr. Holden reached into his pocket and pulled out a leather wallet filled with money. You found it odd since your mom's only ever seemed to have cards in theirs. Here. He leaned in to pass a crisp 10 to Cove, giving him a wink and a whisper. Get something for your friend, too. Sure.
Good kid.
That's my boy. Cove's dad ruffled his son's hair as he was straightening back up, the bill in his hands still held out towards the green-haired boy. Take care. Cove accepted the bill after a second and slipped it into his pocket. Then, with one last nod to his dad, he turned and started walking. You followed after him, intrigued at the possibilities this outing might bring. Thought we were going to stores, not the beach, yo. Cove strayed towards the gentle tide creeping up the sand, and you fell into place beside him. It was a nice day. The sun was shining, and there weren't many clouds in the sky, though the wind coming off the ocean kept it from being too hot. You took in a deep breath, enjoying the scent of salt and ocean air. When you looked at Cove, he was dragging his feet through the sand a little, and you slowed down to wait for him. His eyes searched the ground intently. Are you looking for a snail? Like I was. Cole looked over at you, wrinkling his nose. Who would want something like that? Me? You felt the urge to... You felt the urge to defend the activity you've been indulging in a short while ago. Yeah, I did. I did feel defensive. A lot of people. Punk ass. Okay, no way. They're weird. And you can't take them anywhere because they're bugs. You have to leave them alone. Cove chuckled to himself, and that ended the discussion. He could think what he wants, and you'll think of your own things. I'm still so mad at that. You don't have to take them with you. You could just let them be chilling, doing their snail shit, right? Okay, it's fine. The comforting sounds of waves filled the silence with pleasant white noise, and you played a little game with yourself as you walked along, getting as close to the water as possible without getting wet. It resulted in you having to run up the sand quickly when a wave rushed in more than a few times, and although Cove threw a few glances your way, he didn't say a word. I'm not saying anything. It's just gonna be salty again, huh? Alright. He seemed altogether too invested in the floor to pay attention. You decided to watch the waves as they inched closer and closer to your feet instead. Oh. Abruptly, Cove stopped, then moved briskly ahead a few steps. What is it? Without a word, he bent down, picking up something half buried in the sand. You hurried nearer, curiously glancing over his shoulder. It was a shell, lightly pink at the bottom and bleached white at the top. Wow, so you found what you were looking for? Cove got back up, turning his find over in his hands before unbuttoning one of the many pockets in his pants and sliding it inside. I picked up anything that's kind of cool. This is what I got this time. Snails are cool. Oh my god, I'm so fucking sassy. Okay. Cove frowned and didn't remark on your very valid input. It is valid.
So...
What about you? What do you do out here? Look for snails. You know, I live by the beach. I don't go. You like the beach fine, but you rarely went down without Lizzie. Today had been a special occasion. That's true. Why? I don't know. I guess I'm doing other stuff. Cove seemed personally offended by this revelation. You and me both, bro. Okay. The beach must matter a lot to him, but that makes sense. His name is Cove, after all. Once you reached the shopping area, the noise level grew exponentially. No longer just waves and footsteps, but the chatter of people enjoying the lovely summer day and the calling of birds trying to find bits of food left behind, and lots of sale people trying to get attention. You sniffed the air as you walked beside Cove. You could still smell the ocean, but there were other scents now too. Pizzas, pretzels, hot donuts. It was alright. It was fine. There was a lot going on, but it beat staying at home and doing nothing all day. You were sure that you and Cove could find something to fill the day if you looked around a bit. Cove was glancing from one side of the street to the other with a look in his aquamarine eyes that you couldn't quite work out. What's that? Cove pointed to a large crowd of people gathered near a few tables with large, colorful umbrellas blooming in from their middles. You couldn't see past the adults who were blocking the way, but you knew there must be something worth seeing. Without a word, the two of you hurried over to see what all the commotion was about. Feast your eyes on the amazing Alexander! In the center of the crowd was a man with a tall hat and a funny green coat that had 3 long tails. There was a little table next to him with a cloth hanging over it that read "The Amazing Alexander" in glittery gold strip. Why tell his people his name if it's already on a sign? I don't know, just for the drama, right? Cove hummed with understanding, then turned to walk away just as the amazing Alexander began shuffling a deck of cards. Maybe we could say watch. Cove glanced back at the man. He briefly lifted his arms up off his sides before returning them to place. You grinned, waving him to follow you as you raced back to stand in the crowd. With that, it began. The magic man pulled one card out of the deck, showing it to the curious onlookers. It was a 4 of diamonds. Do I have to remember this? Watch closely. You did, squeezing through a few of the adult onlookers to get a better view. Suddenly, the man snapped his fingers and the card just disappeared. Whoa! He's not impressed, is he? The amazing Alexander, who had earned his title, turned his head and looked directly at you. He reached out with a kind smile. What's this behind your ear? Tell me! Yeah, sure, why not? This had to be going somewhere and you needed to find out. He smelled like popcorn and candy when he stepped closer. It was great. You felt a tug, then he pulled the 4 diamonds out from behind your ear. What? You knew that it couldn't really have come from your ear, but you still didn't get how he'd done it. There was light applause from the crowd, and the man gave a deep bow. "This is for you." The magician plucked a pair of balloons from a clump of tied down to his table. Oh, a clump of them tied down to his table. Both were in the shape of a dolphin instead of being a normal circle. "And one for your friend too. Thank you for being my assistant." Wow! Now you're really grateful he chose you. After that, he went to someone else in the crowd. "Pick a card, any card." My uncle does that every time he visits. Not the balloons, the stuff with the cards. Cove spoke plainly while reaching over to take the dolphin that had been designated for him. I had a fun time. So, who on you, bro? Okay. You saw a magic trick and you got a great balloon. That was more than enough to make a worthwhile event. What's happening behind me? Oh my god. My dog, she went on my treadmill. You thought that if you could find a card to practice with, maybe you could make it disappear too. The crowd started to clear some, and you noticed to the side there was a whole rack of brightly colored kaleidoscopes on display. Yeah, why not? I'll pick it up. Oh, these are cool. You shifted your balloon string to your other hand so you could bring the mysterious tunnel to your eye. A whole palette of colors appeared right in front of you, spinning into all different shapes as you twisted the end of the tube. Cove picked up one and looked through, twisting the tube at the end. After a second, he set it back on the rack, moving to the other side of the stall. He went under the awning, careful of his own floating dolphin, and you joined him. I'm not gonna say anything. You stood in silence for a few moments, waiting for Cove to do something. When he finally moved towards some stalls nearby, you followed behind him. Oh, how cute! the little crabs. While Cove looked at the sand pails, you were drawn to a table with colorful keychains laid out on it. They were sewn in the shape of sea creatures, and there was a plaque that read "Handmade" standing proudly in front. There were lots of different types. You saw a dolphin, a shark, a crab, a turtle. Definitely the crab. Super duper cute. Your hand slapped on the crab, claws raised, and a tiny smile on its face. It had big eyes and little legs, and the fabric was smooth when you picked it up. You had seen a few crabs at the beach before, though they usually scuttled away before you got the chance to look at them closely. You liked the idea of having a crab all of your own, even if it was just a small, stuffed animal. You were instantly enamored. Checking the price, though, your heart fell. $6. You didn't know much about money, but you thought it was a lot to spend on one thing. How old am I supposed to be? Like, I know enough about money, right, to not accept it from his dad. So I know something, so I feel like that's not very consistent, yeah. You rarely had more than a $5 bill to your name. Is that what you want? Huh? Oh, it's $6. I didn't bring any money.
Alright.
It's fine. You don't have to. Cove didn't mind that. He took the keychain from your hands, and that was that. He was holding a small yellow bucket for himself, too. I was always gonna get you something. I already got the money for it. He smiled, pleased to have things worked out. It was nice of Cove's dad to let Cove buy something for you, too. You had to remember to thank him the next time you saw him. After Cove paid, the two of you stepped out of the store side by side, your balloon dolphins knocking together and spiraling around in the air. You watched Cove hold up his new pail to his face, examining it thoroughly. Hey, Cove. Yeah? I really like the keychain. Thank you. It's nice. Cove looked further down the street where different food carts were lined up. He rested his non-cast arm over his stomach, and just as he did yours, let out a light growl. You hadn't eaten since breakfast, and after all this wandering around, you were definitely ready for some lunch. Let's get some food. Yeah. You two wandered around for a short while, looking at all the delicacies that were available. Everything looked delicious, and as the different smells, both sweet and salty, wafted over to you, your stomach growled even louder. After passing up hot dogs, snow cones, ice cream, and pizza, you both agreed on pretzels. Cove got something sweet and cinnamony, and you Oh god, I would got the same thing. You licked your lips hungrily as the vendor handed you your pretzel over, ready to take a bite. Your moms didn't like you to eat too much sugar, but this was a special occasion. The little cup of icing looked too delicious to pass on. You found an empty table close enough to the beach that the grit of the sand made terrible noises when you dragged the chairs out to sit down. These balloons are going to make it hard to eat. Cove placed his bucket on the table as he stared at his still balled up hand that was wrapped around the string. You opened your mouth to agree before an idea hit you. I know. After carefully placing your pretzel somewhere where it wouldn't get sandy, you tugged the balloon dolphin out of Cove's hand and tied it in a delicate bow around his wrist.
Oh.
Cove bounced his arm up and down in place, testing the stability of your knot. After watching his balloon jostle around but remain attached, he smiled satisfied. Sorry. My dyslexia is kicking in super hard today. Can you do it for me? He repeated the ritual. Cove struggled somewhat with the cast, restricting his fingers on the one hand and a string already tangled around the other.
Okay.
Got it. The two of you spent a moment admiring your handiwork, both hands now free to allow easy munching on your pretzels. You bit into the doughy treat, savoring the taste on your tongue with a smile as you looked out over the ocean. After a time, you finished your pretzel. You were done before Cove. It was boring not having anything to do. You pulled on the string of your balloon to bring it down to your level, then you held the dolphin in your hands, manipulating it to make it look like it was jumping through the air. If you turned to face towards the beach, it almost looked like it was swimming in the waves like a real dolphin. A laugh came from your side. Oh shit, I just skipped that. My bad. I didn't see what yours was. Oh god, yeah. Mine's name is Merryweather. He's the prince of the dolphins. He wears a crown made of seaweed and all of his friends are merfolk. Every now and then, he'll make friends with a kid and let them ride on his back. You sighed, wishing you could meet a real dolphin like Merryweather. What's yours? Oh, he didn't tell me yet. Okay. Cove considered this question, placing the balloon against the table and resting his free arm across it in contemplation. It's... With a loud pop, the dolphin exploded into ribbons. Oh shoot. Poor dude. Oh no. For a second, all Cove did was gape in shock like you. Then his cheeks puffed up, squinting his eyes, and you saw tears start to glisten. Evie, it popped. Oh. I would give him mine. You looked at Cove, then up to your balloon, bobbing gently in the air above you. You could have mine. That was better than letting him cry more. Cove sniffled, glancing up at the balloon, then back at you. No, it's yours. I don't want to take it from you. It's okay, really. Cove shook his head. Even though it wasn't your fault, you felt bad. Still, the offer seemed to lift Cove's spirits, and that was good. The passing of Cove's balloon was the last major event of your adventure. That's sad. In the end, the two of you headed back late that afternoon. You separated on the beach. While Cove went straight home with his brand new sand pail in hand, you decided to sit for a while. You watched the waves and the sunset, fiddling with your new keychain. Another summer day was drawing to a close. It had been a good one, except for that sad final note. Okay, well, that's a little sad. Alright, so I know today was a little bit short. I've only been recording for like almost 20 minutes. It's fine. So, I'm just gonna save. I'm gonna save in this one actually. And then, oh my god, the last time I played was in May. God damn. Okay, so coming back to my chat window. Don't forget to check out my other videos. I will be back within the week to record a new episode of this or Hello Kitty or Dragon Age, because I really need to finish that too. Alright, so hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like and see you next time. Bye.